are essential for building muscle and getting stronger. Hey guys, Nick here. So in today's video, something important, very, very important, and something that is based on science when it comes to training. People I hear on YouTube a lot of the time when I, just browsing around the fitness and bodybuilding area, this term overtraining gets thrown around a lot, and people aren't using it in the correct sense because in the kind of meaning that it has developed over the years is very different to what it actually means. So now, for example, here we've got a simple training program split, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just a random split. We've got hypertrophy, strength, hypertrophy, power, strength, hypertrophy, power, strength, hypertrophy, power, strength, right? There's 3 weeks of hardcore training 3 times a week. 3 times a week is, more than enough. You can go 4 times a week, but that's pushing it. But basically here we've got 3 weeks of hardcore training, right? Now here, in these 3 weeks, you are in a state of overreaching. This is a term used when you are increasing the amount of volume you can push. Let's say yesterday you pushed, for that whole week, you pushed, I'm giving random numbers, 40,000 kilograms of volume, right? For example, right? This week here, your current week, maybe you want to push 50,000 kilograms of volume, right? You're increasing the volume and you're going beyond your limit. Your limit was 40,000. Now you're going into 50,000. When you're going into 50,000, you're not increasing the weight, but you're increasing the amount of reps and sets, right? That's pushing yourself beyond your current limitations in order to stimulate change and growth in your muscles. Because we all know that volume is the main driver of hypertrophy. If you want to know more about that, I just did a video last week on volume and how it's the main driver of hypertrophy and more science behind that. So if you want to learn more about that, check out that video that I did last week. And then now the importance of a deload week here comes in the 4th week when you're done with your 3 weeks, right? So you've overreached, you've trained beyond your limits for 3 weeks now you need to deload, right? Now before we actually get into what a deload is, people are like, oh no, deload is if you're weak source, if you don't got the balls, pain gain, whatever. People always like saying that. It's bullshit, right? Scientifically, it's bullshit. Because when you stay in a overreached state for too long of a period, you're gonna start actually. Let's say you went on this program for 5 weeks, right? So maybe up to week 4, right? You're constantly increasing the weight, the volume, right? Then maybe, let's say down the line, week 5, you can't push weight anymore. The only thing you can do is push the number of sets and volume, and then you start jumping into 2-hour workouts, and then you start feeling like shit, and you're not feeling amped like you used to. You're not like, yeah, bench press this, you're going like, in week 5. No, that's not what you want. Because the purpose of a deload week, right, is so that your body can actually repair and make the changes, make the adaptational changes, metabolically adapt, right, and hypertrophically adapt to the kind of stimulation you've done in these 3 weeks. In these 3 weeks, it caused a lot of muscle damage and a lot of wear and tear and metabolic stress. You've accumulated a lot of that. Your neuromuscular system is fatigued. What the neuromuscular system is, it sends out signals to your muscles, right? When you're pushing like a heavy load, let's say 1 rep max, right? That's mainly neuromuscular strength, because you can see people who are strong but they're not that big. That means they've trained their neuromuscular system to be very strong. That's the thing, because now when our neuromuscular system fatigues, the weight drops, right? And so there's a volume drop, and then there's a drop in hypertrophy or plateau in hypertrophy. And we don't want a plateau in hypertrophy. We want a hypertrophy to always go up, so the gains and muscle mass always goes up. And now basically staying in this overtraining, staying in this overreach state for too long is very detrimental to you as volume goes down, so there's hypertrophy. Now that we've got that point across clearly, purpose of a deload week is to drop the volume bit, right? Some people like to go body weight training for that week. Some people just like to go 10% down Right? Say you're training 70% of your 1 rep max, you're going to go down to 60% of your 1 rep max with the same reps and sets. You're just decreasing the volume. Basically what the deload is training the bare minimum amount to maintain your gains. So basically, if say you take a week off doing nothing, you will have some atrophy, some loss of muscle mass, because now you're not stimulating and your body says, okay, there's no need for me carrying around all this big hunking muscle, I'm going to go drop it off because it's not necessary and it's costing me a lot of energy and a lot of metabolic stress, so I'm just going to drop it. No. That's the purpose of a deload week, is that you're going to just stimulate it with the bare minimum amount so it doesn't drop it. So you're going to basically, this is going to be an easy week for you when it's in the gym. And that's basically what it is, right? It's just lightening the load by a bit. You don't want to go so far as you can do it in your sleep. No, you want it to be a little bit challenging. Maybe you want to have no rest in between your sets and give it like an endurance factor to it. But the basic point is that you can make it intense, but it cannot have the same amount of volume as the rest of these weeks here. And then after this deload week, you repeat this, and you go from, remember when I said the previous week was 40,000, this one is 50,000, maybe next week you go to 60,000, depending on the kind of gains and the kind of progress you're making. It's all about tracking your own progress and what it is. Alright, so I hope you guys learned something useful from this video. Just to recap, right, you're going to train hard from anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks of hypertrophy, power and strength programs. It's very important to use a periodized or non-periodized program. I'll talk about that in another video. Right, so it's training 2 to 4 times a week of using some kind of periodized program, and then you're taking a deload week after those 2 to 4 weeks to get yourself out of that overreaching state and allowing your body to recover, and so you can push more volume again so you can drive more gains. Hope you guys learned something useful. Come back later to check out more videos like this, putting the science back into bodybuilding, strength, gaining muscle, all these kind of things, because there's just too much bullshit in the world right now about bodybuilding and gaining muscle.